Hi, forgive me, I'm absolutely shattered. I just wanted to be like, hi guys, and tell you that tonight we went to see Mad Max. I am in no way a Mad Max fan. I can't even tell you the plotline of the Mel Gibson movies, the first one or the second. The only thing I know about it is that Tina Turner's the head of the Thunderdome. That's all I know. That might not even be right. I just know she's in there. So we went to see it. I didn't really know what to expect. I just knew Tom Hardy was in it, and Tom Hardy, so cute and lovely. Even though for the first quarter of the film or something he doesn't say anything, he's just like a grunting barbarian. But the film, like, the first 5 minutes is quite calm, and then bang, like, the film's just constant action. It doesn't stop. Like, every now and then, it's almost like the end of an act where, like, at one point there's a desert and there's a flare that's lying on the desert ground, and the flare goes out and the darkness drops and the scene ends. But see, beyond these there's like 2 or 3 moments in the film where things like that stop all the action. The whole film is just mental. It's crazy. It's mad. It's Mad Max. I still don't really understand why he's mad or why he is haunted by some child from the very beginning of the film throughout. It's not really... Spoiler alert, they don't really clear that up for you. I'm assuming there'll be more films and that'll be explained later on. I'm still not really sure. Like, I've really come away from the cinema having not enjoyed the film, but I don't know if I had no emotional ties to the film. Like, I didn't laugh at all. I didn't feel sad for any of the characters throughout anything that happened. I wasn't worried for any of the characters. It was just like, alright, okay, that's happened and that's happened. Alright, okay, on to the next thing. Maybe probably because it was so quick, like everything happened in such quick succession. You didn't really have time to kind of pause or dwell. There was no kind of sad moments, you know, where somebody, like, if a character dies in a film, they have a wee, oh, and a wee cry over them. There was nothing really like that. It was just constant. It was just like, right, shit, we need to get on to the next thing and kill the next bad guy. And it was mental. But there was a lot of things I did kind of like about it. Like, some of it you could imagine was almost lifted straight from a comic book. Like, you could always imagine these scenes were very comic book-esque, which I quite liked. I didn't like the villain in the film. He was insane as well. The whole thing was insane. But he was insane. But I always tend to, I don't know, you always tend to find with films, you tend to like the villain, and that's what makes the film good in my eyes. Like Khan in Star Trek, following in that vein, Moriarty and Sherlock Holmes, you kind of like him. Bane, Tom Hardy, you know, these characters, there's something about them, they're intriguing, they're interesting, and you like them. This guy was just mental. He was just, there was no rhyme or reason for what he was doing. He was just crazy, and you were just like, fuck this guy. So yeah, he didn't really have much of a personality either. I couldn't even tell you what the actor looked like. I had a moment where I like sat and looked at him and went, do I know this actor? Is it somebody I know? I don't think so. But yeah. The costumes, a lot of the costumes I felt were very similar. Like, there's a lot, I'm very media orientated and very visual, and a lot of the things made me think of, like, you know, the sand people in Star Wars, like, with their wee sand spears. Some of them looked a bit like that. Some of the characters reminded me of the Borderlands characters. It's that kind of gear that they're all wearing. The cars reminded me of Full Throttle, if you've ever played the LucasArts game from, like, the 90s. There's this the game called Full Throttle, and the cars have got, like, these big fucking engines on them. They're amazing. It kind of made me think of that, like, along that vein. So yeah, there was a lot of things. One of the characters, like, the whole film is a chase, and on one of these vehicles there are people just drumming, and on the front of the vehicle is this guy who has his head wrapped in bandages, almost kind of Silent Hilly, but you can see his mouth, but everything else is wrapped in bandages, and he is suspended, and he's holding like a, you know, the dual-necked guitars, electric guitars, and he's just rocking it out these big speakers, almost like a kind of war music, as he's leading the way for all these vans and, like, vehicles. And that made me think of World of Warcraft. If anyone's ever played World of Warcraft, you can make I think it's is it the Undead? Yeah, I think it's the Undead. They dance and they do a wee, like, they play the air guitar, and they're like, and it made me think of that. Like, there's a lot of things I could kind of see aspects of in the film, which I kind of enjoyed. It was almost like a game for me, sitting watching the film. I don't know necessarily if the directors were inspired by any of these things or if this is just what I see, but yeah, that made it quite interesting. Charlize Theron is amazing. She might have been my favourite character. I might have preferred her over Tom Hardy. She has her head shaved in it. She made me think of Ripley from the Alien films, but that might just be because she had her head shaved. But she was a very strong female protagonist. I quite enjoyed her. I enjoyed her and Mad Max's interactions, like their characters had a bit of fun. Even some of the action's quite funny. At one point Mad Max rips it's like a metal oxygen tank thing off of somebody's back and starts hitting the guy in the face with it, which I think is quite funny. I didn't laugh, but I was like, oh, that's amusing. Like, aspects of the film amused me. And the fighting, like, him and Charlize Theron have a wee tussle as well, which is quite enjoyable. The whole thing, like, I suppose it is enjoyable. Like, now I'm talking about it, I'm going, oh yeah, I did enjoy that, and I enjoyed this, and I enjoyed the next thing. So I think overall I did enjoy it. Aspects that I didn't like were just really petty things for me, like where you can tell that there's CGI going on. Like, there's a scene where it's evident there's a green screen in the back, and the lighting doesn't quite match up the characters to the green screen or to their kind of environment. It happens a couple of times, and it's not really obvious, but it's just something that I'm aware of and that stands out to me. Also, Charlize Theron, she has it's like black oil across her forehead, and in some parts the oil would sit just above her eyes, and then in the next scene it would be like around her eyes, like almost like she had panda eyes, but this whole bit's black up the top, and it kind of seemed inconsistent. I understood some parts where it was off completely, and that was obviously meant to be like that, but I don't know, it just seemed inconsistent to me. Maybe that's once again my mistake, I don't know, maybe I wasn't watching properly, or maybe it was down to the lighting. I don't know, these are wee nitpicky things. I just kind of go, that annoys me, that annoys me. But I went in, I thought I'm gonna like this film. The first couple of scenes I was like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be, I'm not going to enjoy this, but I suppose I did enjoy it. I'm not usually an action film person, but this is pure action, so if you're into action movies, and Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron, Also, Nick Holt, is that his name? The lad from About a Boy, he's in it as well, he's got quite a major role. He was quite good as well. But yeah, so that was my evening. I'm pretty knackered now, and I just talked your ear off. So, I'm going to go to sleep, and night night, and I hope you enjoy Mad Max if you choose to go and see it. And if you don't, well, that's your choice. You're missing out on Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron if you're into Charlize Theron, which why wouldn't you be? Okay, night.